What's up, devils? J-dawg back for another goddamn fucking video. And today's video is going to be a one-off question from none other than goddamn Fraser Dawson sent this one. And I thought it was a good one, so I was going to do a topic on it. So shout out to you, Fraser Dawson. How's fucking England and the fucking donuts going over there? And his question is, I got a question. I was going to ask you on Francisco's. So yeah, he's talking about on Francisco's channel, the JOABA, jamming out all that's like that's the biggest fucking tongue twister of all time. I could never get it fucking right. But anyways, I was on Francisco's channel when I'm recording this like 5 days ago or so now. Go check it out. God fucking damn it. If you haven't seen it, it's a 2-hour fucking podcast. I'll probably be doing more of them with them. So see if you check it out. God damn it. Anyways, Fraser made an appearance because he's good buddies with Francisco. And on there, he asked a couple questions like live. So that's my first introduction with Fraser, seeing what he looks like and him asking me a live question because he's asked me several questions or at least commented on several of my videos. But anyway, he's got a question here. So like I said, I got a question I was going to ask you on Francisco's thing, but I forgot. What do you think about people doing steroids? Do you think is a good thing or a bad thing? Keep on rocking to the metal. So I thought this was a one-off question that I thought was a really good topic because I know a lot of the devils that watch the channel, the regulars, are more just the metal scene and are not into working out or bodybuilding at all. But I think it could still be an interesting topic that even all the regulars will still like to hear about because, steroids in general, it's kind of like that taboo subject and, ooh, fucking steroids, this demonized thing that's, going to kill you. You're right. That's kind of how the media portrays it. So it's kind of not a scary topic, but an interesting topic to even people that aren't in this industry. They always kind of want to know. They look at sports athlete or whatever. Does he take steroids? Look at big guys. Does he take steroids? You know what I mean? So it's kind of something that's always in everybody's mind. And the biggest thing is it's a taboo subject for the uneducated. So I figured if nothing else, we could talk about a little bit. And I can help educate you guys a little bit on the topic. Anyways, where do you get to start off first? First of all, when you ask that, it's funny because people ask me that question all the time, either about myself or others. And what I ask them is, I'm like, well, tell me this. What are steroids? Like, define it. And most of them have no fucking idea whatsoever. They just think, I don't know, it's this pill or this shot that you take and you get big. No, it's not that at all. What it is it's hormones that the human body produces. It's what we're talking about is the anabolic androgenic steroids when you're talking about the topic you're talking about. Because there's other steroids like cortisol, corticoic steroids, there's steroids for like your eyes, things like that they prescribe medically, right? But what you're referring to when people bring it up or throw out that word, they're referring to anabolic androgenic steroids. Now, so what are those? The basis is off the hormone testosterone, which we all produce, males and females. Females just produce about 1/10 the amount that males do. And from there, from testosterone, there's other hormones created. One's estrogen, which I'm sure you know. That's how males produce estrogen. So that's why it's funny when you hear people say like certain foods and shit, it raises your estrogen. It's like through what mechanism? Like no, don't. Like even like, and I'm not like a soy protein guy and shit like that, or like soy, but even like all that myths, like soy raises estrogen in your body. That's actually complete. That's been debunked. I think that study came out 3 years ago or so. That's complete horseshit. So there's that. But anyways, so what it does is estrogen is produced in the males by there's an enzyme called the aromatase enzyme. It binds to testosterone and it converts a portion of it into estrogen. So that's another one of the steroidal hormones. And then there's another hormone called DHT or dihydrotestosterone. That's it's called a 5-alpha reductase enzyme, and that enzyme binds to testosterone and converts it into DHT, dihydrotestosterone. And there's also precursors too that you look for is progesterone and prolactin. So, anyways, so where steroids are. The main backbone of them, the very first, was just straight up testosterone. Literally what you produce, what you have in your body. Exact same thing, bioidentical. So whether you take it synthetically or your body's naturally producing it, your body doesn't recognize the goddamn difference. Same fucking shit. So people right out there, when you throw that out there, like it's so bad and horrible, it's like you naturally produce it. Like, what are you talking about? How bad is it? Now, yes, when guys are taking it exogenously, what they're trying to do is get higher levels than you can actually produce. But it's the same. So, like, realistically, when you just put in that, it's like, oh, how bad can it honestly be, right? So, and then when the newer ones came, because that testosterone was originally came out, I believe, in the 1920s. It was the first one. It was just testosterone. And actually, if you guys don't know this too, the Nazis were giving it to their soldiers. Like Nazi soldiers were taking it because they create super soldiers. Little fun fact for you guys didn't know that. Go look it up, but that's a true fact. Anyways, and actually some people are like, oh, unfair. Actually, some of the American soldiers were doing that too. Just so you know. So just America, the good guys, they don't take any shit. They're actually doing it too. So the Nazis were the first ones to do it, kind of the spawn that, or just the idea of it, right? Don't know how it fully stemmed, but you can look it up. I'm sure the details are out there, but that is a little fun fact that most people don't know. Anyway, so the other designer steroids, what they came out, they were basically precursors. Remember the other hormones? They either took testosterone and they altered a molecule to create just another anabolic androgenic agent, theoretically to be better than testosterone. And they would also take like the DHT, like I said, another hormone that converted over, take that and convert over an enzyme or two to or molecule two to two, just to upgrade a different anabolic. And estrogen, also there's ones that are off that as well, and there's also progestins. Like I said, the you measure on your blood work is prolactin, so you would hear progesterone type steroids based off those. So, anyways, they're all based off backbones of testosterone, though, because testosterone is the fundamental top of all those. So that's what they are. So in definition, they'd be considered synthetic male hormones. That's what they are. So where do I want to go from there as far as educating you guys? So I guess when you have that information, what do you guys think? How bad do you think it is? You know what I mean? So what do I think about someone doing it? Fuck it. I mean, it's their body. They can do whatever they want. I will say this: if you're over the age of 30, you should definitely go get your blood work done and get a total testosterone. What you want to get is a full labs, and you're gonna have to tell your doctor these specific labs. You're not gonna order it. It's gonna get your total testosterone, your free testosterone, your total estrogen or estradiol, actually preferably both, your prolactin levels, and your DHT levels, your dihydrotestosterone levels. You want all those. If you're all good, technically, like if you're over 30, like if you're basically you want to be at least over five, in my opinion, over 500 nanograms per deciliter on your total test, and your free test like 100 over 100, and then you're good. If you're over that, don't worry about it. But basically, what I'm getting at, if you're just a normal guy, you don't work out or whatever, you're shooting yourself in the foot. If you're low, if you're running around with 300, 250 or whatever, which most guys in their 40s plus are, and they don't even realize it because they never get these tests done. The doctor's never going to order these tests unless you tell them to, ever, never, ever. Unless you have some type of cancer or something, he feels like he's going to need to. But they never check these whatsoever. Like, because you're like, oh, I go to my doctor, I got my blood work, everything came back fine. Did you specifically tell him to order those? Well, no. And I promise you, those aren't on your fucking blood work. 100% promise you they're not. Because insurance generally doesn't cover those. You got to pay those out of pocket. There's usually about, for the male hormone panels, usually about $200, something crazy. But anyways, it could benefit you tremendously if you want. What you would do is, I'm sure you guys heard about TRT or testosterone replacement therapy. Then you could do that. So that's an option. So technically speaking, anyone, say a 50-year-old man's on that because he's deficient, he's now AKA on steroids. So my opinion, do you think that's a bad thing? I don't. I mean, well, why? If you're another hormone in the body, insulin. If you're diabetic, you know what diabetic is, right? You're deficient. Your body no longer produces insulin, right? So you take insulin. Well, how is it any different? It's the same fucking thing. Your body don't make it no more. Take it. You're going to be much better off. And for example, like another reason it's demonized is it's demonized by the mainstream is a lot of supplement companies will try to make it sound like, oh, there's all these side effects. Shit. I promise you guys right now, if you take a fucking small dose, 150 milligrams of testosterone a week, there's zero side effects. Literally zero. Nothing. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing. But a lot of supplement companies will push for it because they want to sell their shitty ass testosterone boosters, which, by the way, do fuck all nothing. At best, they will raise your testosterone a little bit. But what happens too? Remember, I told you about those two other hormones, those enzymes, the aromatase enzyme, and the 5-alpha reductase enzyme. What those do is once your testosterone goes up, it binds to those and it'll convert a lot of them. So a lot of times your testosterone on your blood work on a supplement that actually may technically work, it'll only be marginally higher, but yet your estrogen, your DHT will be higher, which is not what you want because that's going to lead to side effects. High estrogen and high DHT too, just so you know, leads to prostate cancer. So it's not what you want. Testosterone does not cause prostate cancer whatsoever. So it's so funny, like you'll see some guys are like, yeah, it's slightly raising your fucking testosterone, but it's raising the two hormones you don't want even more. So it's fucking just junk. Just don't even fucking take it. So anyways, yeah, if you want to raise testosterone, you just take a fucking test. Now, which I'm sure what you're asking about, whether you realize it or now, you're asking for sports and shit like that. And my question is, do you have a problem with it? Well, no, I don't. And my question is to you guys is, do you watch sports? Do you like sports? Do you like all professional sports? Some of the guys asked about wrestling and shit. Well, if you like all that stuff, I'm telling you right now, all those guys take steroids. That's 100% fact. It's not even my opinion. Like, I know that for a 100 fact. Like LeBron James, yes, he takes steroids. All the guys, these football players, yes, they take steroids. What they did? Well, then they drug test J-dawg. That don't mean shit, guys. You have doctors that work around it. Like literally, like there's people that exist to pass a drug test, like that you pay, like that not just. As a matter of fact, one of them I actually have his fucking phone number. He actually does that for a living, helps guys pass drug tests. That's how it works. People with big money. So any of the guys, what's funny when you hear a guy that, well, so and so got busted for a drug test, it's an IQ test. You're literally a fucking moron or a cheapo that didn't want to pay to get around the testing. So there's no such thing. They're all using it. And then as far as bodybuilding, which is the only sport I like, obviously one glance at those guys, especially the current guys. Well, of course they take steroids. Like, and it's like the true natural bodybuilding. Just so you know, like in my opinion, there's no such thing as natural bodybuilding. Natural bodybuilding. Now, that's going to offend a lot of guys, but as far as in real, it's just there's just not. Because if you want to go to a true natural, you want to know a true natural bodybuilding. So you go to a natural bodybuilding show. Just to give you an idea, just how unimpressive it is, because a lot of guys reason why I say true natural, because even at natural shows, now this is when it's cheating. If you go to a natural tested show and you are taking steroids, that's cheating, and that I do have a problem with, because what the fuck, man? It's completely unfair. But the guys that aren't, like, to give you an idea, if you're 5'9", 5'10", and let's say you're shredded, contest lean shredded, you're gonna weigh probably around 150 pounds. If you're one of the bigger guys. Some guys 130 or so. So when just that throws out, they should tell you everything. Like, what the fuck? Like, bodybuilding. Like, that just sounds like body emaciated, right? Right. Look at a true natural show. They look emaciated as fuck. But you guys are like, oh, no, I've seen photos, Jade. Oh, they look ripped as fuck. No, 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 no. No, that's a non-tested show. I'm talking about true, because I've actually been to them in person, too. They're very unpopular, and most shows are not like, they're all just because there's steroids involved, right? Any pro bodybuilding for sure. Now there's these fake natties, like for example, guys like Doug Miller and shit like that. But those guys they're all just liars. To give you it, so like a general rule of thumb, like I said, is if someone's, let's just say 5'10", and let's say they're shredded, they're fucking peeled, they're about 3 to 4% body fat, which is about what you could be 3 and 5% body fat on stage. That's what you're going to need to be, how lean you're going to be, which that's lean as fuck. By the way, anything lower than 3%, you'll actually die. So there's no, well, some people with 1%, no, you'd actually be dead. That's a medical fact too. So if you're between 3 and 5%, that's shredded, like 150 pounds, that's about what you get. Now, if you get a genetic, basically, you're never going to, if you get it at a natural show, you're there, and you see a guy that's 200 pounds at 5'10", and he's shredded, he's not natural. He's cheating. He's not fucking natural, because it's not basically physically possible to get there. Even if you're one of these genetic freaks, where there's some, I'll give you like a $180, $185 max. I mean, that's about where you're going to get peeled. Again, peeled. Like, I'm not saying, no, I know some guys in the comments, especially some of the outsiders in the bodybuilding, outside the metal scene in the bodybuilding world, would be like, no, Jay, that's fucking bullshit. You can get to over 200 pounds naturally. I didn't say you can't get over 200 pounds. I said you can't be 200 pounds fucking shredded at 5'10". But I didn't say you can't get over. And then the other guys, well, no, I'm fucking shredded. The guy's 6'2". Well, yeah, you're 6'2". I didn't say that. I said 5'10", because that's the average height. No, you cannot be 200 pounds and shredded natural. No, can't be done. It's never been done. Will never be done. Now, there's one or two genetic fucking freaks that maybe it's been fucking done or could be done. But when you know that saying, like 1 out of a million, it's not even 1 out of a million. It's maybe 1 out of fucking 30 million, literally. Like, it's that fucking rare and unlikely. But I'll give it the benefit of the doubt that there's absolutely some, and that's about the max. It's like 200 pounds ripped. So with that being said, is if you want to watch bodybuilders show, well, who the fuck wants to see that? That ain't impressive. You know what I mean? Like, you want to see big fucking impressive fucking circus freaks, right? Well, it takes steroids to get there. It doesn't matter how hard you work, because like some guys, this is where the uneducated comes to. Is like, well, they just need to work harder. No, it's not physically possible to get there. The human body can't get there without it. That's literally like saying if a guy's practicing his jump, he's trying to be the highest jumper in the world, and he gets to whatever, he gets the highest jump, and a guy's like, well, I went to the moon. I took a fucking spaceship. And he's just like, you cheated. You didn't learn how to jump high enough to get there. No, you can't physically jump that high. No matter fucking how good, how hard you try, you cannot physically jump that high, right? You need a fucking ship to get there. It's the same thing. The body has limits. So why would anybody be against it? That the reason people are against it is because they think it's cheating in the sense like they're using it as a shortcut to get there. Some do. I mean, some do perhaps with it. For example, let's just say if your goal is to get to fucking 175 pounds and just a little bit of muscle and abs, yeah, that's ridiculous. You don't need steroids to do that. And if you're just trying to get there faster, I mean, whatever, do what the fuck you want. I don't really give a shit. But it's like that's ridiculous. You can do that actually. You can have abs and look pretty decent and 175 pounds, 5'10", like not shredded but lean and look good for the beach or whatever. Like you don't need steroids to do that. But if somebody technically speaking, would they get there quicker than if they're doing that? Yeah, that's true. But why most people do it is because if you're in sports, any type of like I said, football, baseball, basketball, it's because they're going to recover faster and they're going to perform better because it has effects on the brains on the brain towards like just positive mental attitude because it's an androgen and it's male characteristics. It gives you more drive, more oomph, more kick. You know what I mean? And you're going to recover. Like I said, you're going to recover faster. You're going to technically be stronger. So it has its performance benefit as far as in performance sports. Like I said, football, basketball, hockey. I'm telling you, all these guys. Now, I'm not saying every single guy that pros do, but I'm telling you, the guys at the high up, LeBron should 1,000%. Now, is he using pro bodybuilder type doses? Fuck no. He's probably just doing something. I can almost guarantee you, someone like LeBron James is probably taking 200 milligrams of test, 2 IUs of GH, which GH, by the way, that's growth hormone. That's not a steroid, just so you guys know. It's a protein peptide, not the same damn thing. And he probably uses some healing peptides like TB500, BPC 157. And he might even use another steroid called nandrolone, maybe 200 milligrams of that because it really helps with the joints. I would bet money he's doing something very, very, very much along those lines. Maybe not verbatim that, and maybe not those exact doses, but something very close along those lines. Which those are baby doses. You can literally take those for pretty much you can literally take that for the rest of your life and be healthy, especially if you're living a healthy lifestyle. If you're doing cardio, you're working out, your diet's super clean, you're taking your health subs, and you're minding your health, you could definitely do that very, very long term, never come off, and those kind of doses would be extremely fucking healthy. Actually, you'd probably be healthier than the average person, to be completely honest with you. Now, what pro bodybuilders are doing, yeah, their doses are the way varies. So, but most of them, and most of them downplay it, are pretty fucking extreme. Even the guys who are on the low end, who are not bullshitting you, they're way more than what I just rattled off for LeBron James. And it's not because they're these abusive fucking drug addict freaks. It's because that's literally what it takes to get there. So it's just that's the name. Basically, the rule of auto bodybuilding is and like open professional bodybuilding. There is no fucking rules. You can take whatever the fuck you want. You want to smoke meth, snort coke before your cardio because you're during the dieting time you're so lethargic. By the way, a lot of guys in the 80s used to do that. Meth and cocaine were actually extremely popular amongst bodybuilders in the 80s and early 90s. It still goes on to this day, but nowhere near because you're burning the candle at both ends. So they're already taking steroids, which the amounts that they're taking has an effect on the heart in several pathways, but especially enlarging the heart. And now you're taking a stimulant that's fucking racing your heart rate. Basically, you're just asking for an early heart attack doing that. So a lot of guys, the education's out there, so guys still do it. But in the 80s and 90s, when it wasn't as understood, that was very common, very fucking common. Meth and cocaine, especially like during contest time when they're trying to because you're dragging ass, your calories are so low, your body fat percentage is so low, just to get through a cardio session, training session. A lot of guys don't do that. Very well known fact in that industry. Of course, they're not going to openly talk about it to the outside, but yeah. So that's kind of just what it takes, and like I'm not and my whole thing is too. I don't really give a shit what anybody does in their whole body. Like I'm not a recreational drug guy at all. Like I don't. As a matter of fact, I've never really done any fucking recreational drugs ever in my life, except I mean I've tried weed a couple of times, and I think that's one of the stupidest drugs on earth. It's kind of good for if you need help sleeping. All it did was make me sleepy. I was like, just all it does is make you fucking fat, lazy, and stupid. So I think that's kind of a useless drug, but you can use it to your benefit if you have a hard time sleeping because it relaxes you. I can see it for that benefit. Outside of that, I think it's a fucking waste of time, garbage drug. So but I'm not against anyone too. Like if someone snorts coke and shit, I'm like, preferably don't bring it to my house, but I don't care what they do. So, yeah, as far as to answer Fraser, your question, what I think about people taking steroids, that's a little bit of inside information on them and what I think about it. I don't care. The only time I would kind of care where I think you're a total fucking douche canoe is if you're going to something that's tested. You know what I mean? Where it's like these guys are not, and you're good. As a matter of fact, I've met people that have done that. I've had one guy, he's at my gym and he was telling me what he said, well, I'm on my TRT. He's like, and I'm getting ready for a show. So I'm thinking about like up in the TRT, so you'll be at super physiological levels rather than just normal levels. He's like, and I'm thinking about throwing in like some Masteron or something. I'm like, dude, you're going to like, what a fucking canoe. Like, don't, how desperate are you for attention? If you're going to do a natural show, do a natural show and just do it natural. If you don't want to do a natural show, that's fine. Go to a fucking untested show then. But he knows he's not going to go to untested because he's getting his fucking ass whooped, is what it is. Because basically the guy, so that's what's funny too, is people think like you just take steroids and you look good and jacked and shit like that. Most of the people that take them, for example, you go to any gym, maybe not a Planet Fitness because it isn't just a bunch of people like dicking around there eating pizza afterwards, but an actual gym, you know what I mean? I'm telling you right now, 60% of the people, and I'm being oh so conservative with this number, are taking steroids. Either are or have, yeah, and from all doses, whether it be very baby doses to higher doses to medium doses. And the thing is, what I'm saying is, you never fucking know half of them that are. You would never even guess. Dude, I literally, tons I know in my gym that do, like I 100% for a fact know that they do. Like point blank, I know they've told me. You would never even guess that they work. You seen them in a t-shirt outside? You wouldn't even know they work out. Never even guess. So that's just is something you take and you get big. Another thing is a lot of guys will do it too, and then they fuck it up. They don't know what they're doing. They look like absolute dog shit. They fucking tons of acne, just water buffaloes, just bloated, look like shit because their diet's trash. They train like absolute fucking pussies. So it's like when you see guys that are big, jacked, and look good, trust me, they don't. It's not just because they took some shit. Like you gotta work hard. You gotta train hard for that. And the thing is, the funny thing is about it all too is there's a cop out in the general society where people look at it like, oh, people that take steroids, they're lazier. You know who the hardest fucking working motherfuckers out there are? People that take steroids. And you know why? They take them to work harder because they make you recover faster. They make you stronger. You have the ability to work harder. Now you can push past your natural limits. They are generally the hardest working guys in general. Like I said, there's tons of lazy shitheads that take them because they, I guess, a shortcut, or maybe not even that. I just a lot of guys they think they're working hard, but it's like, dude, I'll take you through a workout. I'll show you what fucking hard is. Because everybody's ever worked out with me in the gym, like feel like that every one of them, like, dude, that's literally the hardest workout I've ever done. I'm like, dude, this is how I train all the time. Like, this is normal. Yeah, like when I leave for legs, like especially in leg day, I'm literally fucking shaking, like shaking, almost ready to vomit, puke. I mean, I've puked several times to train legs. That's like this is what we talk. This is normal. Like, what do you mean? Like that's normal day on the job. Like that's what training looks like. So most of the guys, but I mean, like true guys are in this. And I said they're taking steroids too. Like they're the hardest working fucking guys. They're not using it as a crutch. They're using it to get as far as they fucking human possibly can. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. Thought it was a good topic because I have a lot to say about it, and that way you guys can hear from a fucking a fellow devil, right? And a lot of, like I said, a lot of people, even if that aren't in any sports or bodybuilding whatsoever, they're at least curious about the topic. And I know because people ask me all the time and they get really chatty about it. Like, and I understand, they're just curious, you know what I mean? It's new to them, and all you know is what you heard on the news and the media, which is complete fucking horseshit. All complete horseshit. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say that they're completely safe or nothing like that, but it's highly demonized as far as how dangerous they are. But I mean, when you're getting to, like, for example, pro bodybuilder level and the doses they're taking, yeah, there comes some risk. But even at that, they're like, most of the guys that are dropping dead, which a lot of them are lately, to be honest with you, is usually because they're doing outside shit too, recreational drugs or other things or other factors. But and then some that haven't. There's some of their doses were so astronomically fucking insane, fucking stupid that it's kind of like, well, yeah, that would kill a horse. Why would you do that? Like, there's a point of no return to where they're not going to do anything. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, keep in mind too, if you have a headache, you take a Tylenol, right? You're like, oh yeah, okay, my headache kind of feels better. You take a second one, you're like, oh, my headache's gone. You don't go and be like, let me take the whole bottle, and then it fucks you up. And it's like, well, no shit. What do you think is going to fucking happen? There's a point of diminishing return on dose. So keep that in mind. So, but yeah, even the pros that are more moderate, they're still rolling a dice because they're using stuff that was, I don't know, 10, 20 times what was the dose of it was originated, created for. So it's kind of like, when you do that with anything, like what would you expect? But even then, most of them aren't. I mean, fuck, Arnold's still alive, and he talks about steroids very openly when he was because back in the 70s and shit, they were actually legal, 100% legal. Just went to the doctor, he would check your blood pressure and shit. As long as you're fine, here you go. You need them for sports, no problem. You can talk about that a little bit more too, as far as how they were used in sports and shit like that. Maybe do a separate video if you guys are curious how some of them originated, like how what the Russians used and then the Americans, all for the Olympics. And it's funny, like this is all like documented information. Like when people are like, oh, it's cheating and shit like that. You did realize a lot of these drugs were created for it on the Olympic level, literally for that reason. But it's just funny how the media twists that. But in case you guys want to talk about that, we can talk about that too. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. So yeah, shout out to you, fucking Fraser, and anyone that was interested in the topic, and any questions on it, or guys want to stem more on this, let me know. And or if I didn't elaborate on something more, if you're any questions or like just educational things you want to more, shoot them my way, guys, and I'll answer them way for you. But that's it for this. I thought it'd be a pretty good one off. And let me know what you think. Leave it in the goddamn comments. See you in the next one, devils. Later.